Morning. Welcome to the weekend. I'm Denise Middleton here with meteorologist Lena Maria. Gosh, Lena, there's so much to do this weekend. I know a lot of folks are going to want to check out those cool cars, but hopefully it doesn't rain on their parade. How's it looking?
Today's going to be a little on the dicey side. We've got one nasty storm out there right now. Most of the actual day, though, Denise, looking okay. And then this is going to come back later. More storms later tonight. Tomorrow, fantastic. Green light. I mean, picture perfect day. Couldn't have picked a better Sunday for outdoor stuff in town. The tall ships, right? Lots happening this weekend. But this storm is definitely a bit on the rowdy side, and it's kind of a lone storm. I mean, we had some showers south of I-10 this morning. It's pushing in from the west. It is starting to pull a little bit northeast, but this box is lightning strikes per 15 minutes. So for one storm, nearly 300, that's a lot. You're likely getting woken up on the west side of town from all of this thunder and lightning. There's briefly heavy rain. The good news is it's moving quickly at about 30 to 40 miles an hour. It's going to be in and out, and there's nothing behind it. There's much drier air. But on our water vapor satellite imagery, you can certainly see, you know, that little bit of a disturbance. It's just a short wave or a kink in the upper level winds that's causing that. And you can see the brown behind that is drier air. Here's the dip in the jet stream and the storms that are firing up along our front. And that's what's going to be sinking south later on this evening. So we'll have another round of storms to deal with tonight. Now, not picking up that storm rolling in from the west on any of our cameras. It would be this one, if anything, because a lot of our taller cameras are just completely socked in by clouds. So we do have some low clouds. We've got really muggy temperatures right now in the low 70s across the board, and I think that's mostly what you're going to feel as you head out the door this morning. Conroe, 20 degrees warmer than the same time yesterday, and most of us at least a handful of degrees, if not up in the teens. So that's a 24-hour temperature change, and we'll be off to a warm and humid start, but a mostly dry, I guess, main chunk of the day, right, is the best way to put it. We'll see some peaks of sun in the afternoon, daytime highs peaking in the mid to upper 80s with isolated showers or storms throughout the day. But that main event really is happening after dark, and I'll have all the details on timing and impacts for you coming up in about 15 minutes from now. All right, it's not going to impact us until much later, but you can already see some storms firing up to the north of us. Now, with this event, the main threats are still hail and the potential for damaging wind. And some of that hail, by the way, could be large to significant. Tornado threat isn't zero. A few tornadoes mainly through Arkansas into Missouri. And it's not completely zero for Texas either, but it's about 2% and only for the far eastern edge of our state. So when we zoom into our area and take a look at what to expect, you can notice that the outlook has been upped. Yesterday we were at a 1 on the 1 to 5 scale, and now a large chunk of our area is at a 2. Again, still with those main threats being hail and the potential for some gusty to maybe damaging winds, and that's about a 15% chance of seeing that within 25 miles of any one location if you were to draw a circle around a point. Briefly heavy rain, frequent thunder and lightning, all those things that we do see with general thunderstorms as well, and we're going to take a look at the timing of that, but it is going to be mostly after dark. So if you've got plans tonight, if you're going to be out and about after the sun sets, that's when you're going to want to be on the lookout. We could see some isolated storms firing up around 5 or 6, but mainly it's going to be in our northern counties around 7 o'clock and pushing through the downtown Houston metro area around 9. Give or take an hour or two. Frontal timing is always dependent. They speed up, they slow down. But bottom line is you want a way to receive alerts as if they are issued. And don't forget, one of those ways is on all of our social media accounts. I'm at Lena Arango Fox 26, and I do push these out in English and Spanish on Facebook and Twitter. And then, of course, our Fox 26 weather app is great because you can set your geolocation, the watches, advisories, and mornings that you want, and it's going to ping you if something's issued for precisely where you are, whether you're at home, you're out, you're at work, doesn't matter because it follows your location. So let's time it out. I'm choosing to show you the high resolution rapid refresh model. We've got 2 high resolution short scale models. This one's picking up a little bit better on what's happening right now. We do have some isolated activity out there, so that's why I'm showing you this one. We could still have isolated activity through mid-morning, but both models are still showing some clearing of the skies in the afternoon. Only thing is, this is bad for storms. It's fuel for storms. If we get too much sun, we warm. We got a lot of buoyant air rising. So by the time we get to the afternoon, you can see those storms firing up off to the north and west, and then we'll have to be on the lookout closer to sunset. It does look like a broken line, but it'll be a line pushing through at about 9 o'clock, and we could pick up a very quick couple inches of rainfall. Then, as mentioned, we're going to be dry for a couple days. Beautiful weather. Either way, this is super cute.
I know.
By the way, we didn't coordinate this. It happened on accident.
We're just always in sync.
Exactly. 2 peas in a pod. That is cute. And a sheepadoodle.
I love that. I love just saying
I know
that.
about the labradoodles. Those are a popular.
Hey, learn something new every day. Sheepadoodles. All right.
For work. So we have not one but two.
Exactly.
And, we always need to be on social media and things like that. So I think it's a challenge for us. What I've been trying to do, and I have not been all that successful, I will be honest here, is no social media 30 minutes after I wake up and no social media 30 minutes before I go to bed.
Okay, that's a good idea.
The morning is easier, I will say. It's like you got stuff to do, you're getting up, but then before bed, that's when the scrolling is just...
I know, I struggle with that. Like, seriously, I can't go to sleep, so I'm like, what else do I do? I'm just, You know
what I think I'm going to do? No media Mondays.
Hey.
So I'm going to set the limits on my phone for Mondays to 0, and then I can't,
Let me know how that goes.
You want to join me?
No.
You want to do a pact? No?
I'm not. Well, you know what? Monday's my off day.
That's why.
So I can do that. All right.
Packed.
Done.
We'll let you know how we do.
All right, it is 5:20.
There's just kind of this small shortwave or disturbance that's causing this to happen. And it's not severe, but it is feisty. Several hundred lightning strikes in 15 minutes. And the National Weather Service did issue a special weather statement for this, which basically means it's a strong storm, but it's below severe thunderstorm criteria. So some gusty winds to about 30 miles an hour. Not expecting any hail with this one, but quite a bit of thunder and lightning and briefly heavy rain as this all passes on through. It is moving pretty quickly. It is flow out of the south and west, and you'll hear me and Mike say all the time, you got to be careful with southwest flow, especially if there's any little kink in the jet stream, because it does tend to fire up some action. And here is the stuff we're talking about along the front with that dip in the jet stream, and that will advance later on throughout the afternoon and evening. All right, you ready for the light show? Let's watch the camera for a few minutes and see what happens. There you go. We've definitely got some raindrops on the lens as well, so take it easy if you're headed out on the roadways soon, because of course we'll see briefly blinding rainfall rates over the course of the next maybe hour or so as this all pushes through. Temperature-wise, we are warm and muggy. Starting off in the low 70s, but probably going to see some briefly rain-cooled air here as this passes through over the course of the next hour or maybe two. It might take a little bit longer to get to our eastern edge of our viewing area. All right, on today's episode of Dogs That Live Better Than Me, Benny just got back from vacation in the Great Smoky Mountains, Denise.
Wow.
This was Benny's first spring break trip, okay?
How nice.
Living the best life. Clearly, they got a cabin or something here. I mean, you can see the mountains off in the distance. I was chatting with the owner on social media because I used to live in Tennessee. And I've got another fun fact to share with you in the next podcast at 6:30 about little Benny here. But very cute in this sweater here. And I don't think you're going to need that today for this forecast, because we're going to be warm and humid. We'll see a decrease in clouds in the afternoon, but then again, watching for that round of storms later on tonight.
Benny is too cute and chill. I love it. Lena, thank you.
Of course.
I tried.
If you weren't with us yesterday, me and Denise had that was like our appetizer, I guess, to the weekend. We had like a practice shift.
I don't want to give them that again. They don't deserve it.
It was pretty good.
So
it was pretty good.
Pass it over to you.
All right, let me take it away before I run out of time. Look, I will say one day is better than the other for outdoor plans, and it's very clearly going to be tomorrow, okay? Less humid, clear blue skies, temperatures will be more comfortable today. Not only are we warm and humid, but we've got to contend with the possibility of some stronger storms this afternoon and evening. Daytime highs are going to launch our way into the mid to upper 80s. When we talk about local threats, they're mainly going to be the potential for wind and gusty to damaging winds. It's a 15% chance of seeing that within 25 miles of any one point. Pretty much all of us can count on seeing briefly heavy rain and frequent thunder and lightning with any storms that do pop up and develop. And I do want to briefly show you the tornado threat here. While it's not 0 for our entire area, it's 2% just off on into eastern Texas, and it does go up. So a couple of tornadoes in northern Louisiana, portions of Arkansas and Missouri are possible. But with this event, it mainly is the hail and wind threats. Even off to our north and east, the potential for large and significant hail is possible. So we're going to make it through most of the day okay. We've got some isolated activity out there now. We should see good sunshine in the afternoon, which is great for your outdoor plans, but that does feed and fuel storms. And then as we get closer to sunset is when we'll start watching for more of that activity to start to pop up and develop. So if you're going to be out and about, make sure you have the Fox 26 weather app. You have ways to receive alerts, and you're staying weather aware. And don't forget, we also push out those alerts on our social media accounts. They are automatic, and they go out on English and Spanish on my Facebook and Twitter. All right, this is the high resolution rapid refresh model. We get a refresh of this every hour, and it is at least closer initializing what's actually happening out there right now, which is the fact that we do have an isolated kind of broken cluster or line of storms pushing through the area, and we could still continue to see some isolated activity as we head through mid-morning. But then clouds again are going to decrease. We'll see sunshine in the afternoon. Will be warm, humid, and breezy. And then as we get a little bit closer to the evening hours, we're going to have to start to watch once again for some isolated storms popping up. And most of this is going to come through between about 7 and 11 o'clock or so. So you can see the storms pushing through downtown at about 9 or 10 o'clock. And the front should be clearing the coastline a little bit closer to midnight. What that does is drops our humidity. So we're going to have cool mornings and just really pleasant, dry, sunny days. Enjoy it. Take advantage, because we do see the return of both humidity and a bit like my stomach when I'm hungry and haven't eaten. So this is all pushing through at a pretty swift pace. Okay, these storms are moving at about 40 miles an hour. They're going to be in and out. They are not severe. They are a bit on the stronger side. There are some gustier winds higher up in the atmosphere. It doesn't look like right now they're reaching the surface, but maybe a wind gust to about 30 miles an hour, which is not, all that strong when we talk about winds. But we do have a lot of thunder and lightning, some briefly heavy downpours, and we've been watching a light show on this camera as this all kind of pushes through. So we'll see if we get any lightning strikes right now. Take it easy on the roadways. They're going to be slick for a little bit, and we've got temperatures right now in the low 70s. So aside from the early morning storms that are gracing us with their presence, we've got quite the warm up for most of us, but likely these storms are going to cool the air briefly and then we'll warm back up again. But most of us between about 10 and 20 degrees warmer than this same time yesterday at the moment, aside from areas to the west that already saw these storms roll through, have cooled into the 70s. We're mostly in the low to mid 70s at the moment. As we make our way through the day, we might have some